The empire was millions strong. There were tens of thousands of battle-hardened warriors ready to fight. At their head was the divine ruler of the land, his word absolute, his will unchallengeable. They were crushed by fewer than 200 men. In the 14th century, the Inca Empire began a meteoric expansion, conquering territory across the Andes. And by the beginning of the 16th century, the empire, which they called the Land of the Four Corners, controlled much of the western coast of South America. It was the largest empire in the pre-Columbian Americas. The Inca Empire was an absolute monarchy headed by the divine Sapa Inca, who ruled over territory divided into 4 sections. It was administered by a complex series of administrators, nobility, and bureaucrats. There was a wide variety of peoples the Inca conquered, with over 30 different languages spoken in the empire. Keeping all of this together was a complex war machine that relied on conscripts from the conquered peoples. Any man in the empire aged 25 to 50 would be liable for conscription, with younger men acting as porters. These conscripts spent most of their time farming, but don't let that fool you. Since the Inca gave basic combat training to most males, troops from the highlands made great use of the sling and bolas. Those near coastal areas used spears for throwing and thrusting, while eastern lands favored the bow. The Inca used clubs and maces with star-shaped heads that concentrated force on impact, causing massive damage. They wore protective helmets and quilted armor, richly decorated with bright colors and feathers. Entering the picture is Francisco Pizarro. In the 1520s, he led expeditions to the western coast of South America. Inspired by his cousin Hernán Cortés, Pizarro went directly to King Charles V of Spain. Both men wanted the big payday that conquering an empire would bring, with Spain receiving a 20% cut. Pizarro set out in December 1530, sailing from Panama to Colombia with 180 conquistadors and 37 horses. Even with reinforcements bringing his total to 260 men, this tiny army crawled south at a snail's pace. They made first contact with the Inca in April 1532, finally meeting Emperor Atahualpa that November. When they first met these strange men, the Inca were thoroughly unimpressed but agreed to meet in the town of Cajamarca. Pizarro occupied the town first with his 168 men, including cavalry and a few arquebuses, and waited in hiding. Atahualpa arrived in style on a golden litter, surrounded by 3,000 to 4,000 basically unarmed attendants, with 80,000 troops camped outside. Pizarro sent an emissary demanding Atahualpa submit to the Catholic Church, and Charles V handing him a Bible. Atahualpa didn't understand its significance and threw it away scornfully. Pizarro used this as justification to attack, leaping from hiding with the battle cry, "Santiago!" They opened fire with arquebuses as cavalry and infantry charged. The Inca had never seen firearms and were stunned by the thunder and smoke, panicking at the sight of horses. The half-ton beasts moved faster than any person could run, causing the Inca to trample each other in retreat. Pizarro drove directly for Atahualpa's litter, slaughtering the bearers holding it up. As litter bearers fell, others took their place, since letting the divine Sapa Inca fall was unthinkable. Eventually, cavalry charged the litter, and it toppled. Atahualpa was captured. Around 7,000 Inca were dead, with only one Spanish casualty. The resistance dissolved like smoke. Pizarro demanded a room be filled with gold and silver for Atahualpa's release. This happened, but he was accused of plotting against the Spanish and executed by strangulation. With their ruler dead, the Spanish marched on Cusco unopposed, establishing control over the empire. How did 200 conquistadors obliterate a massive army? Through superior technology and deception. Stone and bronze weapons were useless against solid steel breastplates and helmets. Smallpox had killed 60 to 90% of the population, sparking civil war and weakening the empire. The Inca belief system held the Sapa Inca as sacred, preventing them from acting when he was threatened. This perfect storm caused the mighty Inca Empire to fall to an army small enough to fit in a college lecture hall.